Get your stinking rat out. It's late night large.
Welcome to a late night large that used to hunt rabbits to plunder their chocolate eggs until we grew up and got arrested for it last year. Learning a harsh lesson is me, Aaron Bliss, while straight back out with the crossbow to find the goose that lays the golden eggs is Mike Large.
I will find that goose.
I bet you will. Their goose is cooked, so to speak. Welcome to a late night large. Hope you all had a fine Easter, as we did. Hopefully, Mike, did you have a good Easter?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, Easter Bunny visit you?
I mean, I've not seen that bunny about. To be fair, no, 0 Easter eggs for me so far.
Nah, it's probably for the.
I've not had a chance. I've not had a chance to see my mum yet. She'd have got me an egg. She knows the score.
I mean, that's outrageous that she didn't drive through the night to drop a basket full of chocolate eggs outside your door, just so when you woke up you could just go, "Oh, thanks, Mum."
Yeah, and you know she'll be punished. She'll be punished for that. She knows what she did wrong.
She knows what she.
She knows what she did wrong.
She knows what she did wrong. Very good, Mike.
Roles are reversed now. It's it's my job to teach her some life lessons. And one of the most important ones that anyone can ever kind of come to terms with or learn is basically keep me happy and fed. Keep me fed.
Because the way to Mike's heart is either through his penis or his stomach. So if you satisfy one of those, you're on to a winner.
Pretty much.
Did you enjoy the weather, Mike, at the weekend? We had some interesting weather. So Sunday was warm and sunny, and then Monday was sunny and snowing, which is I loved it.
I give up with this country.
I mean, to be fair, it's probably climate change, but I just had a big fucking grin on my face when I got up. Obviously, I had a lie-in. Got up at like about 10:15. Looked out the window. I was like, "It's a snowstorm in April. It's a snowstorm in April." Sadly, none of it's settled, but you know, for that
not sadly.
Quite a killjoy, but for that half hour or so, the magic returns. You know, if we're gonna have roasting hot weather in February, as we did in 2020, why can't we have snow in April? Let's just have any weather whenever.
No, bollocks to snow.
No, it was great.
Bollocks to snow.
Calm down, Mike. It was it was a fun weather packed weekend. And it's been good to have a few days to dry.
Saturday was good.
Yeah?
It was a bit cold, maybe, like a little bit cold in kind of morning, maybe early lunchtime. Afternoon, it got warm though, didn't it?
What did you get?
Saturday, I was golfing.
You were what? Sorry.
I was golfing on Saturday.
What, in the afternoon?
Lovely weather. Yeah.
No, it's interesting you say that. Yeah, I remembered you said that. I'll ask you about that in a second. But funny story. My old man, obviously, as you know, golfs with his crew, and it's been, you know, God knows how long. What was it? September maybe. Last played golf with them. So I thought, yeah, he's going to be well up for it. So I get up on Saturday. He's not in the house. Hopefully, he's enjoying the golf, making breakfast and that. And before I can even sit down to enjoy a minute to myself, someone's at the door. This is like 11 o'clock or something. He walks in with his golf bag. Thought you're playing around a golf. Oh, too cold. It's like, what? He's like, no, it was too cold. You can't enjoy it when you're that cold. I was like, oh, you pussy. So the old man, he tried playing golf and then he gave up because it was too cold. But to be fair, he plays it early in the morning, whereas you presumably when it had warmed up a little bit, were playing in the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, it was still cold. It wasn't, maybe
It's not
it
tropical.
only started to get really warm after maybe 7 or 8 holes. It started warming up.
Yeah. How many balls do you get through?
By the time we were on the back 9, huh?
How many balls do you get through? How many did you lose?
It'd been a while. It'd been a while. No, to be fair, I actually came back with more balls than I left with.
Stealing other people's.
Just find them.
I was gonna say
that's how much time I spent in the fucking hedges looking for my own ball. I'm looking for my own ball. Oh, I'll come out with 3.
And meanwhile, everyone else is like, "Where are these fucking balls going?" Like, okay, so now you know which club do you play at? Just out of interest.
Yeah.
So,
Rye Hill.
Rye Hill, right. So if you ever play at Rye Hill and wonder what's happening to your balls that don't seem to have got lost until you went to look for them, look out for a shadowy figure pinching them before you get there.
I don't take other people's balls.
Right.
They're lost, discarded balls.
Oh, are they? Okay, yeah. Fair enough. How what's your handicap like, Mike?
Obviously, I'm a scratch golfer.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So don't like to brag, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking to get my tour card. But no, it was good. It was good weather, and then I knew the snow was coming, or it was forecast. I think originally it was forecast when it very first crept onto the 7-day, 10-day forecast, whatever it is. I'm sure it was either Saturday night or Sunday, and it gradually moved back and moved back and moved back. And then there we are. Monday morning, bit of snow.
Hilarious.
Luckily it was, but it's crazy bloody weather, crazy country, crazy weather. It's only going to get worse with the effects of global warming, etc. In fact, it has got worse.
I think it has. I think noticeably the last decade, particularly, if you just look at like major weather events all around the world, it's clearly got worse. But so this is kind of what we have to get used to, because politicians haven't done.
It's kind of scary that it's within kind of like it's noticeably different within living memory. Well, not. I mean, you talk about living memory, but within the last 10 years, say.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's in 10 years' time, what's it going to be like then?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get on my soapbox, but we're making a bit of a joke out of it and saying, oh, things are going to be different. But I mean, actually, it's going to be catastrophic if we're realistic, because we've been told we have to keep it under 2 degrees of global warming. That's the target. We must keep it below that. If it goes over 2 degrees, it's game over. And what I mean by game over is obviously the glaciers melt uncontrollably, sea levels rise, large parts of coastal America underwater, potentially parts of London underwater, and more extreme weather events that will lead to catastrophic death totals. Let's not forget as well that we've heard that it will leave areas around the equator, like the tropics, areas in China and places like that, unsurvivable, uninhabitable for humans. That's how much we fucked the world up. Is we've actually made areas of the globe which even the most inhospitable, like Antarctica, if we wear the right things and take the right precautions, humans can take it. Even the depths of the outback, humans have survived. We are now making parts of the globe completely unlivable for human beings. Not to mention, obviously, the species that will be wiping out as well. But there you go. That's capitalism for you. Anyway, we're not supposed to talk about the death of all of us. We're supposed to be talking about COVID lockdown and how we're feeling about it, what's going on in relation to lockdown life. I think it's fair to say, Mike, a lot of people are feeling, aside from the various inadequacies of the government on other situations, in terms of lockdown, people are feeling optimistic. At the time of recording, we have 1 week left, and I raised a bit of an eyebrow because I understood that they were going to open up shops, and I thought, well, they've got to open sometime. I was very surprised that they're opening pubs at the same time, but then again, it is only outside, isn't it? They're only allowed to serve outside. Is that right? Yeah. So it will start to look a lot more like, well, not really a lot more. The way to phrase it, there will be more leisure social activities available, ways to let off steam, let's say, in a week's time, at time of recording, few days in terms of when this goes out. So yeah, April the 12th, all going according to plan. Apparently, the government have said, yep, we're on track. And I've looked at the figures. The figures do suggest we are on track. So well done, everyone. For once, the government seems to have kind of done things okay. And what I was impressed about as well was they said when the statement was made about, yep, everything's fine, April the 12th, we're still scheduled ahead for the loosening of the restrictions. Great, well done, everyone. But they did say, don't book a holiday. That is, to me, that is eminently sensible. I don't know why we would be encouraging anyone about that. I mean, France has just gone into another fucking lockdown, for God's sake, and they're next door to us. Why are we even talking about foreign holidays? We have to just say, let's be glad to try and get some semblance of normality back in this country, and then next year we can spread further afield. Let's look at it that way. Although, again, Mike, I don't know if you saw this, but the Labour Party raised this as an issue. There's apparently up to 8,000 tourists entering the country a day at the moment.
No, I haven't seen that.
With what have been described as less than adequate checks. Are we again begging for trouble, begging for new variants coming in? Just when we had some optimism?
Why is that? What? 8,000 tourists a day?
This is what I read. Hang on, let me try and find it. This is what I read in The Guardian. It said, just a sec, where was it? Oh, it's no longer on the front page of The Guardian, unless I saw it here.
Well, you bollocks, Pete.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. For whatever reason, that's not front page news anymore. So we may as well not talk about it. But
Did you dream it?
Huh?
Did you dream it?
Maybe I did. Who knows? Having some trippy dreams lately.
Too gross.
Who gross? Okay, Mike. Well, if we don't talk about that anyway, although let's be fair, that's probably accurate. So that may be for another show. What we can talk about, Mike, is there's been a lot of controversy over the idea of vaccine certificates. Have you heard about this kerfuffle recently?
Well, the old vaccine passports.
That's right, yeah. Certificates, passports, whatever they want to call them. What's your perspective?
I just I'm not sure how. I'm not sure how necessary that is. If I'm honest, I mean, look, I, it's
Would you?
not
Okay, Mike.
it's not to downplay. It's not to downplay the severity of things or anything like that. And we, we've discussed it enough by now. For people to know, the kind of how important we think all of this is. But I just think you've got to draw the line somewhere. Success after a successful vaccination rollout, like we are kind of underway with, we are motoring through an impressive rate with impressive results. Do you need a? I'm just not sure the hassle's worth it.
So, yeah, I mean, I understand the arguments against, and when I say arguments against, I'm going to ignore all the thickos who are just anti anything because they think they're being edgy. They think being anti-mask and anti-lockdown is like makes them somehow rebels of the people, or emissaries of the people fighting against a tyrannical government when they don't have a clue about politics. But in terms of ordinary people who might have an issue with them, no, I'm on the same page. I think what I would say is I totally understand the arguments, and maybe people have waited long enough. So if it's safe to reopen pubs and venues like that, why not put a proviso saying if you have not been vaccinated, we would advise you not to enter these establishments. And if you do, it's at your own risk. Do you not think that might be a better way of doing it? Because I understand what they're trying to do is the vaccine doesn't stop you from getting COVID. I think a lot of people are actually a bit confused. They think it's complete protection against ever catching it. It's not at all. What it does is prevent you from having any of the terrible effects of COVID. You can still carry and transmit COVID. So the argument is, even if 70% of the people who are going into an establishment have had vaccinations, if there's another 30% who haven't, they could still be contracting COVID off the vaccinated people, and then they could potentially be hospitalized or worse. So that's the argument. I'm not sure, the idea that you can only go somewhere with a vaccine part, because the argument is now, Mike, if we vaccinate enough of the population, and by the way, I'm one of the people who really didn't like this argument, but I think we're getting to the stage now where for people's mental health, it probably is a pertinent argument. We're getting to the stage now where we should genuinely, when a significant proportion of the population, we're looking at, aren't we looking at nearly 50% of the population have received at least one dose? So at least 50% at the moment. So if we get to that stage where a significant proportion of the public have had a vaccination, can't we just say, open things up, put out public warnings? If you have not been vaccinated, you are putting yourself at risk entering these establishments. Please just bide your time until you've been vaccinated. No checking of data or anything. And if people choose to go there and end up in hospital, well, at the moment, because of the vaccine program, hopefully the hospitals can cope. Do you see what I mean? Does that logic make sense?
I mean, I'm not sure you want to be kind of basing your kind of your solution or whatever on hopefully anything. But
what do you mean hopefully?
Well, hopefully the hospitals can cope. I mean, I don't think you take that course of action unless you know that they can.
I think that I see. Yeah, no, I agree. What I meant is I don't know if they'll cope. I would have thought that they would almost certainly cope if we've had 50% of the population vaccinated, and not fully, but vaccinated against serious illness. That 50% is going to be the weakest, most vulnerable section of the population, therefore the most likely to tie up hospital beds. That's what I'm saying. So even if the other 50% of the population were to all contract COVID, it would be very unlikely that they would all need hospital treatment, etc., etc. But, and again, I've mentioned this many times to people who keep writing off COVID as if, oh, it's only a few old people. Long COVID does exist. Long COVID has affected young people. We don't know the long-term effects of long COVID yet. We just know that people have symptoms potentially up to 12 months later, you know, chronic fatigue, damaged lungs. That's not something you really want to be subjecting people to if there's a way of avoiding it. So I don't think you should just say, right, everyone, just do whatever you want. Hospitals can cope now. There has to be a messaging program to say, listen, if you're vaccinated, you're safe, but please be aware you can still transmit COVID. So, you know, please still wash your hands. If you're in contact with anyone you know hasn't been vaccinated, please keep your distance, these kind of things. I know it's not perfect because we're relying on the general public, but I don't know what to do though, Mike. What other option is there other than these stupid vaccine passports?
Well, no, you don't. You don't need another option. Like, you just don't open things until it's safe to do so.
Okay,
if it's not safe to open without vaccine passports, it's not safe to open.
It's interesting.
So you fucking open it.
It's interesting
when it's safe to do
because I thought I've actually come to the conclusion of being less zealous than you are. So that's really interesting. No, I mean, I agree with your logic. I just thought that, you know, we're getting to a stage where people's mental health is going to be really suffering. I don't know.
No, listen. I'm not saying keep things shut. I'm not saying stop me being able to go and play golf again or anything like that.
I'm not saying affect me.
Yeah, I'm not saying. Yeah, come on. No, but seriously, like, You're just
going to walk into a pub, Mike. You're going to walk. Yeah. You're going to walk into a pub, and they're going to go, "You got a vaccine passport?" And you go, "Yeah, here's my vaccine passport."
Yeah. No, but I don't see why it's necessary. I don't know what it's gonna. Okay, yeah. So once you're vaccinated, obviously you're less likely to get the severe symptoms. You're also less likely, I think, slightly less likely to actually transmit the disease. But even so, only slightly less, I think. So I'm not really sure I just don't know what's to be achieved by it in terms of when you weigh that against the fucking bullshit that it will cause. And I'm not just talking about people that throw their toys out the pram, but that's a lot of fucking hassle to go about issuing all of that stuff. And or maybe it's not as much as I think it will be, but then it will be to police it. And who's policing it? You're going to make the establishments police it?
Yeah, that's
I'm telling you now, they fucking won't.
No, that won't work at all. It will not work.
It's just a waste of everyone's fucking time. I just don't see. I'm all for people being safe, and doing the right things at the right times in the right way. I just think it's too far.
Do you think we're opening pubs a little bit early, even if they are outside only?
Yeah, because we spoke about it before, haven't we? You know what people are like. You give them an inch, they take a mile. Well,
that's right? My thinking. Yeah.
there will be, once you start relaxing things, you may as well just fuck it all off. Like I was saying, once you start opening schools, you may as well just fucking open everything else. And the reason that, the reason that probably schools haven't caused the issues, if you like, that they have done previously when we shut and opened them, is because of how, I believe, how well the vaccine rollout's been going. So,
and don't forget they have also been doing haven't they been doing rapid daily testing in secondary?
Yeah, and I'm sure that's helped as well.
Yeah. So they can contain.
So yeah. So but pubs is another thing again, isn't it?
Yes.
And okay, you're outside. But even more so, if you're outside, people are going to pay less attention to the rules. They probably pay more attention to the rules inside than they will outside.
There'll be,
you think tables going to stay separate and fuck off, are they? It's not going to happen.
Well, we saw the scenes, didn't we, in Soho last year when the rules had been relaxed and we'd all been told, listen, we know we want to get back to being social and whatever, but you have to be careful. And then picture a Soho, everyone's fucking in each other's pockets, breathing on each other, right in their ear. It's like, well, that was really that really helps, doesn't it? You can really rely on large sections of the population to be sensible and actually apply their own logic and thought processes. I mean,
this is what I mean. You can't. You also, and you can have a fucking vaccine passport or not, right? It doesn't. It's going to mean anything. It doesn't mean you. I just think if you're at the point where you're talking about using them, you either should be open or you shouldn't be. If it's not safe to be open or to let people inside or whatever, then don't fucking let them inside. And if it is safe, what's the point of the fucking passport?
You make a compelling point, Mike. I can't really argue with that. It does beg the question. It had occurred to me, we're all supposed to have been vaccinated by July, aren't we? So,
or isn't everyone supposed to have been offered?
Sorry, yeah. Other than the people who are bellends or otherwise legitimately have issues that might prevent them from having it. Yeah, by July, and it just makes me think like, can we not? Could we not just, I don't know, just wait till July so then we guarantee that there's not going to be any major issues? But there you go. I
think.
I'm looking forward to getting my invitation. I'm like, where is it? Come on, I'm asthmatic. Give me the fucking vaccine. Hurry up.
You've not had anything? No, not heard anything?
Not had an invitation yet, no.
No, me either. No one cares about us.
No. Well, yeah. It's a government conspiracy. They heard our show and said, those fuckers insult us every week. Don't give them a vaccine.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'd do the same.
I wouldn't change anything.
I'd do the same. Politicians would be right at the bottom of the fucking list.
Yeah. No, I agree.
The other way around.
So Mike, let's just have a quick look at. I thought we'd have a quick look at what exactly we are allowed to do from 12th of April, because to be honest, I can't even remember. So let's just.
Well, I mean, I can name a few things.
Okay.
First and foremost, I can get this fucking mop chopped. State of it.
Yes,
Look at the state of me. I'm crying out loud.
To be fair, you were always a bit of a state, Mike, but yeah. At the moment, you are looking. Don't be an asshole. I mean, to be fair, as rough as your hair looks at the minute, you still look more presentable than a prime minister. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still a hot piece of ass.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, Mike. Okay, so outdoor hospitality will return. So pubs and restaurants can open for outdoor service only. There's no like requirements of alcohol with meals or curfew or anything, but table service is required. So you do need to eat and drink outside. Non-essential retail will reopen along with gyms and hairdressers. Presumably, masks will be mandatory, I'm guessing, yeah? Social distancing rules still apply in these settings. Yeah, so I'm guessing masks and social distancing were applicable.
Yeah.
Overnight stays away from home permitted in England from 12th of April. Oh, okay. So staying away from
I didn't know that one.
Away from home in England will be permitted and self-contained accommodation can reopen. Right, so basically it's like you can stay at someone else's house, but it does say it must only be used by members of the same household or support bubble. So
you can stay over in your bubble's house.
Right, so it's effectively saying actually you can't stay overnight unless it's the person you're in a bubble with. Okay.
Yeah.
Other indoor and outdoor settings reopening. Public buildings like libraries and community centres will be allowed to reopen, and the majority of outdoor settings and attractions, including zoos, theme parks, drive-in cinemas, and drive-in performances. So finally, we have some leisure to maybe help us forget about the grind of work. So that's positive. Care home visitors increased to 2 per resident from next week, although, you know, be careful, people, with the care homes. As we know, that's one of the most vulnerable places you can attend. Funerals be allowed to continue with up to 30 attendees. Weddings, outdoor receptions, and commemorative events, including wakes, will be allowed with up to 15 attendees. I would suggest if you're going to have a wedding, 15 attendees seems ridiculous, because a wedding is either going to be one man and his dog because you want to keep it secret, or you want to have it massive. So I'm not sure who's going to have a wedding with 15 attendees. Parent and child groups up to 15 people will be allowed to restart indoors. Fortunately, they haven't made the same mistake as last time in being dumb enough to say that people should return to work. So they're still saying you should work from home where you can and minimize domestic travel. Still no international holidays. And they are considering stage 3 from the 17th of May. So yeah, that's quite a good summation of where we are and what we're allowed to do. Seems like I think people are going to be people's mindsets are going to be more positive, aren't they, in a week's time, generally, if all of those things are allowed to open, you would say.
Yeah, I mean, when that starts happening, if the weather's nice, everyone's going to be a lot happier. I mean, people will be then taking the piss, and you may as well forget having, as far as a lot of people in a lot of places are concerned, you may as well forget having any fucking rules or things in place, because they'll just go out the window. But people will be happier, so, you know, who cares if they're killing everyone?
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, to be honest, Mike. I'm not going to be going anywhere that's going to have too many people, because, like you say, people are just going to be bellends, aren't they? It amazes.
Yeah. Go on.
Sorry, I was going to say it does amaze me, I have to admit, the significant proportion of the public who literally seem to be like children. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, they can only respond to strict commands, and then when the commands aren't there, they can't apply their own logic and like protection, and it just goes out the window.
Have logic.
No, but I mean, I'm sorry, but how little brain do you have in your head to be like, you know, you're like breathing all over people and like grinding up against them the second that the restrictions are eased, outdoor pub gardens and stuff, and you're just like, mate, what the fuck?
I'm going to stop you there.
Go on.
I'm going to stop you there. I will be grinding on people the second I get the opportunity to do so.
Plus, you've been growing this whole lockdown, so God help everyone when you
Oh yeah, when I'm unleashed, good fucking luck.
unleashed, for God's sake. Yeah, God help us all. But yeah, just people being pricks and just like all over someone and like invading personal space and like, mate, could just stand back a bit. Oh, Boris says we can fucking do it. It's like, did you even pass your GCSEs? Like, because it sounds like you don't have like basic logic in that tiny little brain of yours. And I don't know.
I mean, I don't even need to comment on that, do I? You know exactly
I don't
how
know
I feel
what I
about
expect.
people.
I don't know what I expect. I guess it's, for all those years of being taught that adults know better and all, when you grow up, and then you grow up and you look around and you think, fucking hell, a lot of these people are worse than children.
Yeah, they are. They are worse than children. They're effectively just bigger, more dangerous children. Children who don't have to answer to anyone. Well, in their own mind, don't have to answer to anyone anymore. Like that. So that's.
I'm struggling to disagree. Yeah, I was going to say it's twofold, isn't it? Because it's grown children with no one to answer to, but also children don't tend to be calculating, but adults do. So you're talking about calculating children who generally don't have or don't think they have anyone to answer to.
Yeah,
toxic combination.
It's scary. That's a big proportion of the population.
Yes.
We're not talking about the odd person here. We're talking percentages. We're talking a big number.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've seen these people at work. We've seen them at work on the beaches. We've seen them at work in the pubs, and we've seen them at work in the voting booth. So yeah, we do know there's a hell of a lot of people that don't seem to have a brain to rattle around their head, and need to be led by the nose to every decision, unless it's getting rat-assed and just doing whatever they think they will. So yeah,
unless they're being led by the penis, in which case all is fair in love and war.
How many wars have you fought with your penis, Mike?
Many a war. Many a war.
I don't want to have any mental images of that. So instead...
Oh, yeah, you do.
Instead, I will ask Mike, is there anything else that needs to be covered, or is that a good review of where we are at the moment with lockdown? Is there anything else we need to take into account, do you think?
No, I think that's, that's where we are, isn't it? That's the stage we're at. There's a lot of optimism, people looking forward to being able to do certain things. Some things they've already been able to do. So I was able to go and play golf at the weekend. So some little by little, we're kind of getting our freedom back, or whatever you want to call it. I think we should be calculated with the way that we do it, but at some point it's just going to go out the window, and you may as well just fucking. There'll be a tipping point where it's like you may as well just fucking do whatever you want now, because everyone is anyway. But yeah, and I think it's good. I think there's a lot of positivity. Okay, we had a bit of snow today, but we had a little bit of weather that helps people's mood no end. So things are coming to an end.
The snow helped my mood.
Oh, fuck you and your snow. The sun is what makes people happy. So we've had a bit of sun. We'll hopefully have a little bit more. We got that light at the end of the tunnel now. It's not like a distant speck. It's there. It's touchable almost. There's lots for people to kind of be positive about. They need to. We need to be very aware of, let's not fuck it up at the last hurdle type of thing. But there's lots of positivity out there, and I think we've summed up where we are and where we'll be. So I guess next time we record will be ideal, because we'll be at the start of the next stage, if you like.
It will. Yes.
But for now, I think that's all she wrote, I think. And what I would say is make sure you sexy motherfuckers hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave us a comment. Tell me how happy you are that I'm finally getting a fucking haircut, because you're sick of seeing it that little bit longer every time. Because I am. Once it starts going over your ears, it's a fucking ball ache for me. But there we go. So leave us a comment.
Yeah.
You know, tell me how good looking you think I am, and like whatever. Tell Aaron he's a prick. Do it.
You always get in there first. No, abuse to Mike is welcome, and I know that we said before we welcome spam of porn and stuff in the comments, but there's been too much. All right, so can we stop spamming the comments with spam bot porn links, because I'm having to remove them now. So can we have real people please commenting? So stick a real comment, whether it's abusive or not, or if it's a porn comment, at least make sure it's done by a human and not a spam bot, please. So ladies, gentlemen, put your recommended porn links in there. And yeah, subscribe, like, share. Sorry, Mike, was there anything you wanted to add?
No, I think that's it. I think we've covered it. Just stay safe, stay sensible. It's not long now. You just have to be a fucking sensible person for just a little bit longer. And
then you can go
be an asshole, basically.
Yes, the golden rule. And on that note, that's all, folks. See you next time.